Gaza, one of the most ancient cities in our region, has always been a desired destination, mainly due to its location as a port city connecting Asia and Africa. It is settled consecutively for the past 3,500 years. Throughout history, it was surrounded by raging battles. It was ruled by the Egyptians, the Philistines, and the Hellenist Greeks, including Alexander the Great, House of David, House of Hasmonean, the Azarians, the Babylonians, the Persians, the Romans, the Byzantines, the Ottomans, the British Empire, the Egyptians again, and the Israelis once more. The Gaza Strip is considered to be one of the most populated places on Earth, inhabiting 1.8 million people on a territory of 360 square kilometers. It is named after the ancient Egyptian settlement Gazat and is mentioned in the Bible 22 times. The first of these mentions is in the story of Noah in the book of Genesis, and the territory of the Canaanites extended from Sidon in the direction of Gerar as far as Gaza. In the 13th century BC, Gaza was ruled by Philistines. Samson is remembered from this period for terrorizing the people of Gaza with his original guerrilla act. He tied 300 foxes to burning torches by their tails. The foxes ran through the fields and vineyards, setting them on fire and causing a great panic among the Philistines, as it was written in the book of Judges. And he struck them hip and thigh with a great blow. He later demolishes the Philistines' temple worshippers inside while shouting, "Let me die with Philistines." In the year 101 BC, Alexander Jannaeus, ruler of the Hasmonean kingdom, conquered Gaza. Later came the Romans and the Byzantines. In the beginning of the 4th century BC, the pagan city of Gaza underwent a conversion to Christianity. In the 7th century, it was conquered by Muslims. And as the final post on the incest route, it became the most important port in the area. In the early 12th century, the city is conquered by the Crusaders and then, by the century's end, once again by the Muslims. Between the 13th and the 16th century, under the Mamluks' ruling, it became the district's capital. In 1799, Napoleon conquers Gaza with only a short battle. Later, the city was conquered by the Ottoman Empire, which held the city until 1917, when it was captured by British General Allenby after 3 tough battles. This was also the first time tanks were used in fighting in that area. In May 1948, during the War of Independence, the Egyptian army entered the Gaza Strip before the British army had left and used it as a base for its campaigns against the IDF in Negba, Yad Mordechai, and Be'erot Yitzhak. Egypt suffered a defeat while trying to advance north, but maintained its dominion over the Gaza Strip, ruling with military dictatorship. The Palestinians, however, desired independence and control over both Gaza and the West Bank, and formed the All-Palestine government to that end. Since no other state in the world recognized this government, it ceased to exist by 1952. Gaza then transforms into a launching pad for terror attacks on Israeli settlements. In 1955, after a series of infiltrations from Gaza to Israel and a few deadly attacks by the Palestinian Fedayeen terror group, the IDF launched Operation Black Arrow. In addition, Unit 101 continued the retaliation act for which it was assembled, such as the invasion to the Al Bureij refugee camp in the Gaza Strip. In the Kadesh operation in 1956, Gaza was conquered by the IDF, which relinquished it by 1957. In the Six-Day War, the IDF conquers Gaza, this time retaining its control and forming a military regime. In early 1971, after several confrontations between Palestinians and the Israeli security forces, and after the murder of 2 Israeli children in Gaza, Ariel Sharon, then chief of the Southern Command, initiated an operation to eliminate terror facilities in Gaza. The operation, which was considered a success, brought relative peace to the area for 15 years until the First Intifada began. In December of 1987, an Israeli truck driver hit 2 Palestinian taxis, killing 4 people. This accident was perceived as a revenge act for the murder of an Israeli man just 2 days earlier, and is considered the event which ignited the Intifada. Gaza soon became one of the most central locales for confrontations in the Palestinian uprising. 1994, the Oslo Agreements. The IDF spread around the Gaza Strip and the control over Gaza was given to the Palestinian Authority. Yasser Arafat placed his headquarters in the city, and the headquarters of the Southern Foxes Division relocated to Gush Katif. In the Second Intifada in the year 2000, the terror attacks escalated and were directed mainly towards the Gush Katif settlers. In 2005, Prime Minister Ariel Sharon decided to retreat unilaterally from the settlements. In 2007, Fatah lost its hold over the Strip, and to this day it is governed by Hamas, which continuously launches terror attacks against Israel. The IDF went on 3 operations trying to restore the peace in the south: Cast Lead in December 2008, Pillar of Defense in November 2012, Operation Protective Edge in the summer of 2014. The responsibility for protecting the Israeli border is entrusted to the Southern Foxes Division since its establishment. Now, it is the duty of the Joint Division, the Fire Foxes.